The fight between Hakari and Hajime Kashimo has finally begun. Let's go boys, time to get ready for the absolute goods. The panel of Hakari's arrival alone was more than enough to get us all thrilled for this action, and throughout this chapter, JUJUTSU KAISEN chapter 186, we learn the truth about how overpowered Hakari's curse technique is, in particular his domain expansion, and what he can actually do with it. He can become immortal for 4 minutes. Yeah, just a bit busted. There's more though. He has infinite cursed energy, which results in his body on its own to perform reverse curse technique in order to avoid all damage and become immortal. Even with him not knowing how to use reverse curse technique, his body just does it on itself during these 4 minutes. But what are the requirements for him to actually enter this state? Just to hit a jackpot with his domain expansion. However, there's still more. Due to him having infinite curse energy in this state, he can also just repeat his domain expansion a endless amount of times, and if he keeps hitting the jackpot, he will continue to be immortal and pretty much be undefeatable, I guess. I think now we finally understand why Hakari got all this praise from the likes of Gojo as someone who could potentially surpass him or be his equal in the future, and praise from Yuta as someone Yuta respects and does state is stronger than him. I guess this domain expansion loop is the reason for all of that. Of course, there are some downsides to this whole ability. If he doesn't hit the jackpot, he's quite vulnerable. As we see this chapter, Kashimo is strong enough to blow off one of Hakari's arms with ease, so if he didn't have the infinite curse energy regenerating himself, he would have already lost an arm. However, another thing to consider is Hakari may have allowed Hajime to do that so he could get the upper hand and catch him off guard, as he actually did in this chapter. But I think it's pretty safe to say Hajime is strong enough to deal some pretty major damage to someone like Hakari, meaning Hakari needs to either dodge those attacks or fully rely on his domain expansion and mortality loop until he defeats Kashimo. Before I continue, if you're a JUJUTSU Kaisen fan, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. That's what I provide on this channel, Mysterious Chad. Now let's continue. When Kashimo was fighting Panda, we learned that he has a special property with his cursed energy, the electricity aspect, meaning even when you attack him or when he attacks you, you still get the electricity damage even with cursed energy protecting you. However, a way to overcome this is just to have an insane amount of cursed energy, quality and output like Hakari does. As such, he can counter the electricity aspect. At least the base level of it. We see this chapter when Hakari loses one of his arms. It's most likely from the same attack Kashimo used on Panda's sister. The attack that isn't a domain expansion that has a guaranteed hit, the lightning bolt thing, whatever it is. Very fast, undodgeable, very powerful. That's what he used to take out Hakari's arm in this chapter, in my opinion. Makes the most sense. Both of them also talk a little bit this chapter. Kashimo agrees to let Hakari use his 100 points if he wins, so it's possible he will be spared and won't be killed during this fight, but I see that as potentially unlikely, unless Hajime actually wins this fight and gets the information about Sukuna. That could be something pretty shocking, but I do think this fight is going to last quite a while, and we may even have a third party get involved. That could be pretty interesting. I hope we get to see Hajime's domain expansion as well. Of course, considering that he has one, he may actually not, but I personally doubt it. And I do expect us to get some type of flashback for maybe both of them, learning about Hajime's want to see Sukuna, what's going on with all of that, and maybe Hakari's time at the Jutsu high school. That could be pretty cool as well. Now the question is, will Kashimo have the skill and luck to overcome Hakari's domain expansion loop? If he does, Hakari may be in danger, but as it sits currently, it seems like Hakari is at the advantage, and all he needs to do is survive until he gets another jackpot, which technically should be easy with his infinite cursed energy and the 4 minutes. Can't wait to see what Hajime tries and does to overcome this and where this fight actually goes. But that should be everything for today's video. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, check out the other stuff in the description, and yep, Patreon Mad Lads, high five, laters.